We're back with Lily Talmers. The new album is It's Cyclical Missing You, and the name of the show is Country Pocket on WUSB. Lily, we just heard the big idea because perhaps one of my favorite quotes of all time from a song is in there. I then realized there is no bed, just people learning many things at many different paces. Some resist and some learn easily. Break that down for me, that beautiful lyric.
Oh my gosh. I think in some ways the whole song is so cheeky and in another way it's so sincere. Like there's real flippancy and real sincerity and it's cuz I've lived both sides. Like that line is really born of like having gone through like years of frustration thinking I can change certain people or like that I am right about something when actually it was never about me and it was never about the thing that's right, but it's always just about people learning in their own lives. And if you love someone, you have to have the generosity of just knowing that they're going to learn at their own paces. Um yeah, so it
Yeah, I can speak as
yeah.
someone who is at times frustrated with their past self for not having learned a little more quickly something my current self considers to be an invaluable lesson.
Mhm. Yeah. So human. Yeah, I often when I'm softest with myself, I'm like, it's okay to be a slow learner, or like it's okay to be a late bloomer. This is how it is sometimes. I think also there's like a little bit of a faith question in the song. Like, I think in uh it's like, do you do you understand that this moment is meant for you? Do you accept things as they are? Or are you going to try and force your version of reality onto a moment? And I'm definitely always trying to be more accepting of what the moment has to teach you and not like, why isn't it the way that I want? Why aren't you the way that I want you to be? Or why am I not? Yeah, you can't like will lessons. You just have to sort of accept and experience.
Yeah, that's necessary but a frustrating lesson.
Totally. It's a bummer.
Do you think that everyone will eventually be able to learn? Is everyone capable of getting it?
Oh my gosh. I mean, no, on a cosmic, no, I don't think so. Um, but well, yeah, I don't know. Uh, but I do question in myself, like, am I going to like learn uh what needs to be experienced. Yeah, I had a I had an amazing moment with my grandmother. My grandmother, who's like nearly 97 years old, and I was talking to her on the phone. And I was like, "Yeah, what do you do when you're sad?" And she was like, "Oh, I pray." And I was like, "Oh, okay, interesting. So, what does that mean for you?" And she was like, "It is like asking the universe, um, if I am not in alignment, but she I forget what word she used, but am I am I like interacting with the universe as I'm meant to? Uh, and I think asking that question is a good place to begin. But I don't think a lot of people ask the question. I think ask ask you shall receive if you ask, but a lot of people won't even ask initially.
Yeah, that's an amazing question to ask. Much more I guess spiritual than strictly prayerful. Um so you talk about the flippancy of the song. nothing's really good, nothing's really bad. Tell me why that was an idea you felt you needed to mock a little.
Yeah. Um, my dad has always said to me growing up, um, that yeah, basically like nothing is as good or as bad as it seems to be. And I think I don't know, receiving like wise parental advice like that that's so basic. I feel like in my life I've just sort of flip-flopped on both sides of being like, "Oh wow, actually that is profound and true." And then also being like, screw you, parents. Like this is so dumb. Everything is as bad as I think, or like just really indulging in my own subjectivity a little bit. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's just like telling yourself anything that is fundamentally true. You only half believe it. So it's like something both that I often know to be true and that I'm like totally skeptical of at the same time. Often. It just depends on the moment.
Yeah, I think it really does, quote unquote, depend on the moment. There are certain times when it really is that bad, and there are certain times when, okay, you know, we can take a deep breath and live to fight another day. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, I often do want to give a disclaimer in these times, especially before I sing the song. Like, some things are really bad. I'm not, like the song is not like making fun of that. I don't know. I guess it is. It's playing with that, but it's not. The song is also trying to bring attention in a joking way to the fact that things often seem and are really bad, but it's complicated.
yeah, it is a really complicated thing to express. There are things I turn on the news and it's just like absolutely insane. And the fact that more people don't seem to see them as bad or as really bad, it doesn't uh it doesn't compute with me and it makes me worried. I guess that's leading me up to the last question. You end the album on moving forward, moving on from something. Um, but how do you get to a place where you can leave the bad behind without being able to recognize that some things actually are bad?
Uh, I mean, I guess it all relates to the album's supposed to be sort of like a circle. And the idea is that things don't go away, but they're going to be different on their next turn. Um, so the idea is kind of trying to represent a lot of the different points on on the circle of like grief and missing and like witnessing the ways that they can change. Um, and the last tune is like considering the possibility that like it's just sort of meaningless and we're like sacks of meat. Um, which I had a friend who was really going through like an intense Marxist phase and was just like lecturing me on all these crazy um, notions of like pretty nihilistic thinking. So it's like putting that hat on for a minute, but also revealing like a pretty deep undertow of um, like lasting spirituality under that. So yeah, I don't think that bad things really go away, but I think you have different attitudes towards them and they're going to come back to you on a sort of spiral, but they're going to look different and they're going to interest you and compel you in different ways, which is a fun experiment. Life. Love it.
Uh, I'm not so sure I love all the
Yeah.
aspects of this particular experiment, but
Yeah.
it sure beats the alternative.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as far as we know. Yeah.
as far as we know.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a dark note to end on.
Yeah, oh my gosh, forgive me.
Oh, Lily Talmers, I want to I want to just address the fact that you've recorded this album in one take.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you something.
What?
There was a slight miscommunication. I did basically, my publicist mistranslated something that I had written. I wrote that each song was recorded in one continuous take. So each song is recorded completely live and in one take, but it was translated in a way towards the publications that made it seem like the whole record was in one take, and that is not the case.
But no re-edits.
No. I mean, there were some overdubs. We recorded the whole thing in like a DIY space, like an old refurbished laundromat in Maspeth, Queens. Um, and there was not like high tech isolation gear in the studio. So certain things like brass and woodwinds definitely all needed to be overdubbed. But like all of my vocal takes, my guitar takes, all of the like rhythm section stuff, bass and drums, that's all live. And second guitar too. It's all live.
All right. Um, Last thing, um, I like to end my interviews by having the artist pick a song. Um, the only rule I give is that you cannot have had anything to do with the original creation of said song.
Uh-huh.
Um, just to just to compound on the thing that I really loved about these songs on this album, the trait I love the most. Can you pick out a song that is uh that sort of overanalyzes something? Like gets into the mode of thinking that you get into that produces some beautiful conclusions that, you know, seem as though they can only be reached by thinking a little too hard.
Ah, oh my gosh. Um, I'm thinking, the Milk Carton Kids?
Yeah.
There's a song, I think it's called All the Things That I Did and All the Things That I Didn't Do.
Yeah, that sounds like a title of a song that you could get behind.
Yeah, totally. Totally. It relates.
All right. Lily Talmers, the new album is It's Cyclical Missing You. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you, Trevor, for having me.